The economy is horrible, with food and energy costs soaring out of control. With so many out of work or underpaid, who doesn't like to receive something free? Let me tell you about a free ebook that will transform your thinking about your own future, along with the future of Christianity and the church. The free ebook, Christianity of Blasphemy, A New Gnostic Lie by Paul and Linda Villanueva, is an urgent warning for every Christian. It exposes the sinister plan to blend a form of ancient Gnosticism with Christianity, thus creating a new Gnostic lie that will deceive many to receive the certain mark of death from the beast. This new form of Christianity is already among us and on the rise. It is imperative to educate yourself and everyone you love. Once again, this free ebook is a prophetic and dire warning. Christianity of Blasphemy, A New Gnostic Lie, is available as a free download from all online digital retailers, such as Amazon and iBooks. Other formats for reading on your computer or printing it out are available at fifthhookmedia.com, FIFTHOOK media.com. Not many things in life are free, but the truth is always free. Please do not be caught unaware, sleeping, or in the dark, as this demonic deception creeps into the church and destroys what is left of true biblical Christianity. Go to fifthhookmedia.com right now to get your free ebook and start preparing yourself against this demonic delusion.
Lord, now can't you see? Trouble and evil are surrounding me. Death and pain for the wicked world's fate, but the righteous and just shall live by the faith.
Hello? Hello? Anybody
Hello?
there?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Am I your parrot?
Did you say parent?
Parrot.
I can't hear you. What?
Parit.
What?
Good.
What? Today's Friday, August 15th, 2014. Crazy, huh? I think tomorrow, on the 16th, is the anniversary of the death of Elvis.
I believe you're right.
I think so.
And yesterday was your birthday, was it not?
Yeah, but I don't want to tell anybody that because then they can figure out how old I am. They got my name, and then they'll steal my identity. Then there'll be a bunch of people out there under Carl Kapow buying stuff, and I got to pay for it. Thanks a lot for the breach of security. I want to remind everybody,
Okay.
fifthhookmedia.com, fifthhookmedia.com, it's been revamped. Did you know that, Miss Kapow?
Yes, I... Have some more of that monster drink.
Fifthhookmedia.com has been revamped. It has. It has bigger fonts. You can actually read it now.
For senior citizens like us.
I'm telling you, you can actually see it now. There's some free music on there. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow a download, but you can hear it. If there's any other way you can steal it through software, go ahead. But there's some free music download. There's a free ebook, Christianity of Blasphemy, is on there, and that's a PDF. So all you do is click on the cover, blam, and it.
There you have it.
It's right there on your
very
deal.
Nice.
Yeah, so you don't even have to go to Smashwords to get it. Just go to fifthhookmedia.com, and it'll be under free ebook. There's also about 19 uploads of our show under audio files tab, and there's different categories. There's one on fallen angels, demons, and whatever.
Deliverance.
Yes, there's a deliverance tab.
Yes.
So if you need prayer for healing or deliverance, there's audio files on that. There's a Bible tab, like on how to study the Bible, hermeneutics and things like that. There's also a Christian growth tab, like Christian, topics for growth and stuff. So there's about
Spiritual
19
hormones.
Yeah, I like that. Spiritual steroids. Ooh. And there's nothing that you probably haven't heard before, but there's some of our older shows that go back to 2011, 2012.
I know, they were so cute.
I know, huh? And so sometimes, we get an email and someone's talking about, they got demons in their house and it's doing this and this and this, or they have these kind of demonic problems. And we talk to them about deliverance and prayer. Well, rather than reinventing the wheel each time, there's a set formula that we like to send out. But a lot of times I have to go hunt down these old files about prayer and deliverance and healing.
But here they're all
They're right there.
collected together.
Yeah. So I can just send somebody to fifthhookmedia.com, go to audio files. They're right there if you want to know all this stuff. So we're going to keep adding to them. We're trying to put more stuff on there that's kind of like, essential stuff. It's all essential to us, but, trying to pick and choose. So anyway, there's a lot of things on there.
There's more groupings.
More groupings. There's stuff. There's a show we did on Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition, Christians and guns, that type of thing. So that's interesting. All kinds of stuff on there. All right.
Right.
The other thing I want to announce real quick, those of you probably have noticed that on Blog Talk Radio, our download files are bigger now. They're probably 60, 70, some might be 80 megabytes. Most are around 40 or 50. The reason is that Blog Talk is going high fidelity. They're going CD quality sound, which requires bigger files. There's nothing we can do about that. We upload at the exact specs that they compress at, which is CD quality now. They used to compress the files down to like 10 megabytes, so real quick downloads. Quality was less, but quick downloads. Well, I think for competition and stuff, they're no longer doing that. We and other hosts don't have any say over that. So if you've noticed that, that's what's happening. And there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We were working on trying to put our stuff on another site on smaller downloads. Very labor intensive because we'd have to do actually 2 versions of the show and try to squeeze it down. But I just can't get it. I can't get our shows below 16 megabytes anyway.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time doing that. So anyway, those of you who notice what's going on, that's what's happening. That's only for shows like us that upload files. If you listen to live shows that use the phone and do live shows, those are still compressed pretty small. Do you have a scripture?
Yeah, I do.
Well, get on with it, girl.
All right. There's 2 actually.
Well, get on!
Isaiah 57, 20 through 21, that says, "But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. And there is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked." And the next one is in Job, chapter 18, 5 through 21, and it says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straitened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid out for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terrors, someone George Bush, terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger-bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished by his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God."
Doesn't sound good for wicked.
No, it does not.
There's wicked people, wicked humans. They're influenced, controlled, possessed by wicked spirits. Those wicked spirits, demons, earth spirits, evil spirits, are controlled and take direction from a hierarchy. Principalities, powers of the air, rulers in high places.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fallen ones. They're like fallen angels. You know, the angels that rebelled against God. They're controlling all the demonic spirits, which we firmly believe are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim that roam the earth. And because these were the children of the fallen ones, and that's why they push to have worship for them. Those fallen angels ultimately bow down and take orders from Lucifer himself, the head fallen angel. That's the wicked. That's a hierarchy. They're very militarized. They're very organized. That's how it works. So when these scriptures talk about the wicked, you're talking about wicked humans, but you're also talking about all the way up.
Yep.
All the way up,
The enemies
all the
of
way
God.
down. Amen. Last Monday, we did a show on the 7 signs or 7 causes of the end of probation in the days of Noah. There were 7 signs that we looked at in the days of Noah prior to the flood, prior to the end of probation, the destruction of the world, and examined those in light of current events or current happenings today to see kind of where we're at. Very important show. I'm not going to go over all 7. If you want to know what they are, go listen to Monday's show. But one of those 7, at least one of those 7, had to do with the reappearance of beings from the principalities, powers of the air, rulers. Some people call them aliens. Some people call them, fallen angels. They are spiritual beings, and it's the return of those beings.
Yes.
And they mate. They do genetic manipulation. They do things with the human to destroy the human and separate them from God. So a lot of what we talk about on Freedom Friday has a lot to do with those 7 signs. So really this collection of Freedom Friday is about, a lot of it is about the return of those spiritual beings and what they're doing. Not just demonic forces and influences and blinky lights in the sky, though it includes all those, but just strange creatures and strange things that are occurring. Now, Justin just did a show Thursday on strange occurrences that was just dynamite. On the Facebook page of Fifth Hook Media, we posted the links to the videos that he is talking about in his show.
Yes.
Very creepy stuff. So he's already covered a lot of the strange occurrences and stuff and made a great tie-in. But we're going to kind of continue in that vein because we're copycatters. The first one for tonight, let's talk about the Colossus that was spotted on Google Moon. There's a video on it. If you want to see this, once again, go to Fifth Hook Media, our Facebook page under Fifth Hook Media. Go there, and it's on there this last week. Now, I think this is legit. I really do, because it comes. They got this from the Google Earth program or Google Moon. So what looks like is a towering human figure striding the deserted plains of the moon, and it's been spotted on Google Earth. It bears an uncanny resemblance to that ancient statue, the Colossus of Rhodes. That's the one that fell into the harbor in the Greek island when there was a massive earthquake in 226 BC. Well, what is this on the moon? In the video that's posted here, you can see an unusual shadowy figure. And this was found by a guy named Jacinko. And what he does is he looks for anomalies everywhere, and he hunts them down, and he pores over millions of images. I guess he has a lot of time on his hands. So he found this, and he found this published by Google Earth, and this kind of makes up the Google Moon landscape. So it's kind of weird. Then it was posted on YouTube where this guy, angles it differently and goes at different horizontal angles and zooms in on it and increases the shadow and does all kinds of stuff. But it's an odd-looking shadow which looks like a statue of a huge, huge man, a colossus. He has giant legs. They're spread apart. This thing has to be thousands of feet high.
Yeah.
In order to see it. And you know what? There's probably a number of ways to explain the shadow. It could be trick of light, the camera lens, it's a glitch. I mean, you're going to have as many skeptics as you do believers in this. You know, who knows? But when you look at this, it certainly looks like a huge man, and it does resemble that statue, the Colossus. It's on the moon. If you've done any studies about the Anunnaki, about was it Tiamat, the destruction of Tiamat, and of course you got Planet X and all those things involved. The moon with its craters, you know, was part of a destruction, was part of something that was destroyed. Who knows what's on the backside of that, you know? Exactly. But you know, I think
interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So a very, very interesting thing, and kind of weird to look at because it's legit, whether it's a shadow or not. It looks like a huge, huge man. This guy is named David M. Jacobs. What's interesting about David M. Jacobs is that he is a retired university professor from Temple University.
And he believes there's aliens up there.
Yes.
There's other cosmo life.
Yes, he does. And this guy's no idiot. He's no dummy. In fact, his whole life has been dedicated to this, and to the point where he kind of got a lot of flack in his career. They've even cut down some of his classes where he was teaching this stuff. But David M. Jacobs sees aliens from outer space. This is the way he sees it. That aliens from outer space have been kidnapping humans for eons and sexually molesting them to create human-alien hybrids that walk among us today undetected and will soon take over Earth.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely crazy.
But I believe that.
This guy retired in 2011. He's 71 years old. He was a tenured professor. He's no dummy, and he absolutely believes this to be true. Now, I don't think this guy's a believer because he's calling them space aliens and stuff. We don't believe they're from space.
No.
In that kind of sense.
Yeah.
You know, they're fallen ones, but this is exactly what they did in Genesis 6. When we talked about the 7 signs of the days of Noah, the end of probation, this is one of them.
Right.
The return. And of the breeding program.
That's right.
Right? Well, apparently, he's a director of International Center for Abduction Research. He's made it his life's mission to investigate claims of abductions. He's written several books, but in his new book, it's called The New People, he says this: what I'm doing will either be an interesting but non-essential footnote to popular culture or the most important thing that's ever happened to humankind. I see it as the latter.
Yeah.
That's his 5th book, too. It's called The New People, which is kind of a creepy title. Because you know he's talking about the hybrids.
Hybrids, yeah.
Yeah, and it's becoming a new people. Most people would probably think this guy was just a deluded UFO believer guy, conspiracy theorist kook, right? But like I said before, he was a tenured professor.
Yeah, what, for about 36 years.
At Temple University. That's a long time.
Yeah.
He's married, he's got a couple of kids. He makes his case well-reasoned, articulate explanations. He applies a scholarly approach to his research. He shared it in 4 other books, printed by well-known and academic publishers.
Wow.
So like I said, he's not just some blogger. You know, he's not just some dude.
Okay, it says here that he interviewed 150 people who say they've been abducted by aliens, the forgotten details of their cosmic kidnappings resurfacing in relaxation sessions the self-taught hypnotist does in his home.
I think that's where he gets in trouble, and that's where he gets the flack, because it's the hypnosis part of it.
Yeah.
And people say, well, that's not reliable, or, you know, it's it's all made up in their head. But he insists the evidence exists.
Yeah.
Here's what he says.
Abductees independently report similar experiences and recall common details, such as the human-like or insect-like appearance of aliens and their mission to breed. Many of them told Jacobs that aliens stared deeply into their eyes, sometimes touching foreheads.
Ooh.
In a neurological scan that enabled them to harvest human sperm and eggs, women frequently claimed that aliens impregnated them, removed the alien-human hybrid fetuses from their wombs, and forced the women to nurse the hybrid babies.
That's crazy.
Nasty.
That's crazy. People are physically absent during the time they say they were abducted, Jacobs said. Some families even have reported loved ones missing or seen them vanish, he added.
Abductees sometimes are taken in groups. Strangers who have never met on Earth recall each other from their deep space experiences. People return with unusual marks, injuries, or scars, including scar tissue that formed overnight. A biological impossibility that I have seen myself, he says.
This is amazing. Apparently he had trouble at the university because he was teaching a class on these things, and they quit funding him and things like that. But his mission is now to kind of expose it. It's just interesting that.
And what makes it nice too is for these people that were abducted and experiencing this stuff, that they have someone that's actually listening to them.
Yeah.
Because I know the stuff that we've heard before, people thought they were nuts, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have no platform, and then then they begin to question themselves and their experiences. Whereas here, now they have like a little network where they can talk to one another and feel that they're not alone.
Because there's just too many of them reporting the same thing. As this phenomena just kind of surfaced, and we talked about that Monday, how it just kind of surfaced in the 1940s and since, these kind of abduction type of cases. It's just too coincidental that everybody sees the same thing and has similar experiences like that. So it doesn't shock me when you look at Genesis 6.
Right.
And when you see the prophecies coming true that Jesus himself said, before my return in wrath, it's going to be like the days of Noah.
Yeah.
In a lot of aspects. And that was one of the aspects. That's one of the 7 signs.
Yes.
Right? And along with that is just kind of like weird things, weird creatures. Portals are open. Almost like the spiritual realm is now overlapping a lot of times.
Yes.
And I think you can see that with Justin's show on Strange Occurrences when you look at some of those videos like that creepy
Slender Man type of thing.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good thing to call him, because that's what he looked like. He looked like a big slender shadow man.
Yeah.
Scaling a wall.
Yeah.
When you see things like that, and then the video's been analyzed and going, no, this is real. What is it? What is it? It's like the portals have been opened and it's overlapping. I for one, I mean, some of you know this. I for one have seen things that weren't in this reality, but yet I've seen them as if they were real. And when those things have happened to me, one was the sloth that I saw. That's in our book, Eyes to See Unseen Enemies. We open up the chapter with and I don't even want to call it a vision of a sloth, because it wasn't. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I watched it. I was so freaked out about it. I went out there with a gun because I was scared. I live in the California desert. There's no sloths in the California desert. It was a spiritual lesson. But when I saw it, and I've seen several things like this, and so have you, it always feels surreal. It always feels like I was kind of like tranced out or something. Yeah. It's strange when I think back on these things. So there is overlaps. Definitely overlaps.
Definitely.
This one is from the Philippines, on an island in the Philippines. So I don't know if you say the Sabal or Sabale. I don't know. So I'm going to screw it up and call it Sabal. Sorry.
Sabail.
Sabail. It's an isolated island in central Philippines. They've reported mysterious killers, believed to be werewolves, attacked farm animals during nights before the full moon. These killers, these werewolves, I guess what they do is they suck the blood and they tear away vital organs such as liver and the heart. To me, it sounds like the Mexican chupacabra, the goat sucker.
Well, especially because we've seen stuff like that. You know, we've read reports like that in other parts of the world.
And what's interesting about this is that it only comes out at the full moon and at certain times of the night. Sabal Mayor, he's the mayor of this island. His name is Lemuel. Lemuel said more than 200 goats have been killed in the past 2 years. It's a lot of goats.
Yeah.
Carcasses scattered in the open field and showing the same telltale marks. Strangulated necks and gaping wounds in the stomach.
Yes.
It's a continuing goat massacre happening at the onset of the full moon. Now check this out. Almost every year since 2012.
See?
When you had that galactic alignment, when you had the ancient Mayans that I don't believe are a bunch of Mesoamerican Indians barefoot running around. I think that whole Chichen Itza, the whole complex, the whole temple was Nephilim. The whole thing was built by the fallen ones.
Yes, I believe that 100%.
The humans that were there were just worshiping them. That's why they were hiding out in the jungles. Now they're under water, underground bases. I mean, they're hiding till their time. But anyway, that's another subject. But 2012, when these portals, that permanent portal was opened.
Yep.
And we talk about this over and over again like a bunch of kooks. But
and that's when the new age started, or a new generation, or a new period.
Yeah, exactly. So more than 200 goats have been massacred by this unknown killer. The suspected werewolves attacked between midnight and 2 a.m. That's another thing that's significant.
The altars of Satan are open around that time.
Witches that practice witchcraft, that's when the altars open, at 12 midnight. The power is between like 12 midnight and 2. It's a very powerful time in the night. It's the darkest period of the night.
Because that's usually when we used to get attacked, and still sometimes things happen around that time.
2:05 every morning. We would get attacked by demons, look at the clock, it would be 5 minutes after 2. Over and over and over again. That's when the altars were open. So this is interesting. There's a full moon in between those hours. So the goat population of the island was estimated at about 1,000, but it's dwindling because of the attacks. Total number of goats killed in the past few weeks included 14. So anyway, they got cops on it, standing, doing extra patrol, trying to catch these things. Hey, who knows what it is, but no one has seen what they are. It's a weird time frame, and it's weird that they only do it in the moon, full moon. And they're killing all these goats.
Now, this next story from BBC is from Mexico, right? Where the Christ statue actually has human teeth. Ew. And then the statue looks nasty.
He's
I don't like it.
Beat to death, this statue. In fact, it looked like he has bullet holes in him, but it's just, the statue has like a hole in his face and blood all over him. It's
I don't like
horrible. Well, it's a typical pagan.
Yeah, but when I look at the picture, my
No.
stomach goes.
That's your demon monitor.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's the Lord of Patience. It's the Lord of Patience in the parish of San Bartolo in Mexico. He looks ghastly.
Yeah, that's putting it kindly.
He has a tortured look. Blood is streaming down his neck. He has open wounds on his face, hands and knees. Sent shivers down your spine. But it turns out that the statue is even more realistic and macabre than previously thought. You know what? Specialists were restoring this thing. I guess it's from the 18th century. So they're restoring it, working on it. You know what they discovered? It has 8 teeth that are human.
Wow.
That used to belong to an adult human. That's weird.
Well, apparently the teeth were probably donated as a token of gratitude.
Sure. Now, who does that? Who does it to venerate, the statue? Here, take my choppers. It had to come from a skull. But that's creepy.
It
Whose
is. I
teeth
don't
are
like
they?
it.
Where did it come from? Why? Why do you have human teeth?
There's a lot of questions, right?
Yeah. I like this. They think it may have been donated by a token of gratitude. Suggest head restorer Fanny Unicle. Head restore. No pun intended. Right? Restore the head. I guess what she's saying is elsewhere in Mexico, parishioners are known to have volunteered their hair to make wigs for saints as well as clothing or money. But the teeth and nails of statues are usually made of bones and animal horns. This is the first time human teeth have been found in a sculpture.
Wow.
Creepy. This is creepy.
Yeah, they did the X-ray of the statue.
Yep.
And the X-ray photo is really creepy.
You can see the teeth going all up in the statue's like gums behind the nose area. But did you notice the eyes on this thing? Mm-hmm. The eyes, when you look at the X-ray and you look at the eyes,
God.
It is really alien, I should say.
Yeah.
Does not look like a gray alien?
Yes. I don't like it.
Really
don't like
really freaky. I have a picture that we took in New Mexico.
That's right.
Where were we? Santa Fe. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Miss Kapow and I were there traveling around, and we went to a museum, and there was a Catholic church there. Mm-hmm. And I forgot the name of the church, Our Lady of the Concepcion or something weird.
Remember.
It was dedicated to all these female nuns. Mm-hmm. And they had this Jesus on the wall hanging on a cross. Mm-hmm. It just looked like one of the regular Jesus, but it was kind of creepy because he was kind of beat to heck on the wall. Mm-hmm. I took a picture on it with my iPhone. And at that time, I used to like messing with photos and putting different filters on them and messing with it. And I put this X-ray filter on it, this inverted X-ray filter. And the thing is a face. I mean, like a real human.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Like that little horn thing. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. It looks like that little horn god.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, and then his knees. It's a weird face, and it is. I still have the picture. It's really creepy.
I don't like it either.
Really creepy. Speaking of Roman Catholicism.
And creepy.
Yeah, and creepy.
Catholics are flocking to venerate vial of blood from the deceased Pope John Paul II.
A vial of blood. Is that biblical, Miss Kapow?
No.
Is that something that Christianity should be involved in?
No.
Why
Is this necromancy?
Do they do that? It is.
It is.
It is.
And it's forbidden in the Word of God.
But they're flocking to venerate this thing, a vial of blood.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like they're worshiping that blood.
Yep.
And who it represents.
A man.
Mm-hmm.
They're deifying
they're actually
him.
praying to it, according to this article. It says that Roman Catholics in New York City will observe what they call a veneration of a vial of blood drawn from the late Pope John Paul II this weekend, as others are expressing concern about the idolatry of such practices.
Well, at least someone's expressing concerns. Well, but it's interesting if there are other Catholics expressing the concerns about idolatry. It's kind of like, wait a minute, your whole religion is idolatrous. So, they're just over the top with this.
Mm-hmm. The Relic Tour was recently announced by the Knights of Columbus, which regularly hosts the vial at the St. John Paul II National Shrine in Washington, D.C. There's no greater champion of human rights in our lifetime than St. John Paul, who reminded us that those rights begin with religious liberty and the rights of conscience, said Knights of Columbus Supreme Knight Carl Anderson. He also goes on to say that he did this most memorably in the first year of his papacy, when he returned to Poland and brought there the hope of freedom, and again when he spoke so clearly on behalf of religious freedom at the UN in New York.
Well, this has nothing to do with sainthood or anything he did for God or anything he did. Mm-mm. This is just all political mumbo-jumbo ass-kissing. It's religious Lewinsky is all it is. Plus, you're a Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus, which is a Masonic order in the Catholic Church. See, they're so hypocritical. The Catholics won't allow their own men to belong to Freemasonry. So they form their own called Knights of Columbus, and they do the exact same thing. I know this for a fact because I was a Mason. I brought in a Catholic to my lodge. He went through the first and second degrees, but because he was Catholic, he had to quit. So he quit and then went to the Knights of Columbus and joined them. He told me it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
It says here that the relic, which is decorated with 12 red stones that represent the 12 apostles of Jesus.
Well, there you go. Now it's cool.
As well as the image of the former pope. Of course, you've got to put him on there. Made a tour stop in Boston last month at the Holy Cross Cathedral.
Okay, so the 12 stones represent the apostles. Then he has an image of himself. There is no image of Christ. There's no Christ. So he's basically saying he's the vicar of Christ.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. Oh, man. That's crazy. Well, Pope Francis was presented with the vial of blood this past April during a ceremony in which he declared sainthood to John Paul II. He decreeing that he was to be venerated as a saint by the whole Roman Catholic Church. And guess what he did?
He kissed it.
He did the Monica Lewinsky, the spiritual Lewinsky. Francis kissed the relic, holding on the deceased pontiff's blood as it was received and placed at the altar.
Yuck.
Are you serious? Come on. Come on. That's gross.
Nasty.
You know, Brother Marcos sent us this next story, and it's on Santeria, witchcraft, voodoo, and all that other nonsense happening right here in the U.S. And also our brother Javier from Radio Redemption of Power, he says in Florida, Santeria is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere
I've
on
read
the streets.
that before, that it's really
we saw it
there.
in Las Vegas, Nevada, where they go out in the alleys and there's dead chickens and all kinds of stuff.
Well, this story takes place in Linden, New Jersey. Police have issued an arrest warrant for a 41-year-old New Jersey man on charges related to the decapitation of chickens in a cemetery.
Huh.
Leonard L. Edwards, Jr., 41, of Wharton faces charges of unlawful possession of a weapon, a fourth-degree crime, and animal cruelty for needlessly killing and mutilating a live animal.
This is crazy. What he did is this guy used machetes to decapitate and kill several chickens at the cemetery. He then placed the dead animals by some grave sites, and he smeared blood on the headstones. Wouldn't that make you mad if that was like your father or mother or a loved one buried there? And here's some idiot smearing chicken blood on it. And he did this before he split in his car. But they got evidence at the scene, and they investigated, and they found out who it was, and so they're going after the brother.
Wow.
What they believe is that it was some type of religious or cultural ritual, you think?
I know.
You really
Sounds like
think?
it.
So they don't mention Santeria in the article, but it's basically some kind of Haitian, Caribbean hoodoo voodoo
Ritual.
Santeria type. Yeah. It's crazy.
This is a crazy story, this next one.
This is insane. It is transgender confusion beyond. I had a hard time reading this. I had to read it like 3 times to figure out who they were talking about. Especially when they call a he a she and a she a he. That's really the he's a she. That's really acting like a he sexually. But see, I'm confused.
It's confusing. This transgender couple who both change sex prepare to explain to their children how their father gave birth while their mom provided the sperm.
What?
See?
What they say is we have the parts, so we use them. Okay, there's a guy named Nick. Well, okay.
See, what was that the female became the man.
Yeah.
And
that's
the
Bianca.
And the man became the female.
No. See, you're confused. Yeah, no, the man became the female, Bianca.
Yeah.
The female became the man.
Right.
Nick. Okay. See, I messed up.
But the female that became the man still has a peepee. So that one got pregnant as a man and gave birth as a man.
But the dad, who's the mother, that looks like the chick, has a vagina. You see what I'm saying? They're both transgender, but they both still have their
sexual parts.
Their sexual organs, because they can't afford to change that. So the woman who looks like a woman is really a dude, impregnates the man who looks like a man but's really a chick.
And then they expect their children to understand this.
I can't understand it.
It's crazy.
I can't get my head around it. But this guy who's now Bianca was they call it a drag artist. What does that mean? In my day, we used to call it a drag queen, a prostitute, a street prostitute,
But now
drag
that's an
queen.
artist
It's a drag
because
artist,
it's
and he
creative.
absolutely is gorgeous. I mean, he's pretty, and then the gal used to be pretty, and now she looks like a dude. There's a picture of her looking like a dude with a pregnant stomach, and they're with their kids and everything. It's just
wrong.
it's crazy. But here's what
I know.
here's what I can't get my head around. Okay, help me understand. Help me.
But see, now you're trying to make reason of this, and it's just too.
I'm trying to make
crazy.
sense out of a senseless world. I know, but okay, if you're a transgender, why are you a transgender if you're unhappy with your body? I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, right?
Right.
I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, so I'm unhappy with my genitalia.
Right.
Okay? So if I were to become a woman, dress like a woman, and change that genitalia, would I not want a man?
I would think so.
Okay. So now I'm a woman, but I don't change my genitalia. I still got a penis. But I'm with another woman. I'm with
a woman
that looks like
become
a
a
man. Okay.
That would be like swapping genders. It'd be like you now being Paula, and I'm going to be Leonard. Leo for sure, darling.
But I'm Paula with a wanker, and you're Leonard
with
no plumbing.
Yeah, but then I, as Leonard, get pregnant and give birth to our kid. Gross.
Well, yeah, but it is gross. But it just shows you
the confusion,
the
chaos, the darkness.
This is just purely chaotic darkness. And what's amazing about this story is it's a feel-good piece about how this young couple are raising these two little kids, and they love them, and they're about to prepare to tell them that, hey, guess what? Your daddy is really your mama, and your mama provided the sperm for your daddy.
And they think their kids are going to be fine with it and accept it because children are accepting that way.
And they admit they have a active sex life with each other. But see, you're a dude dressed like a woman, but you're using your penis on a woman dressed like a dude.
It doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It's from the pit of hell.
It is. And then the comments behind the story are, this is wonderful. I know, huh? Isn't this beautiful? I'm so glad that finally, we can talk about these things. There was only one lesbian on there that I really respected. A lesbian came up there and said, look I'm lesbo. This doesn't make sense. The whole reason why you would go transgender is because you're not comfortable with who you are. But yet you're...
See?
Why don't you just
now that's
stay
pretty
a dude
bad
with a chick then?
When a lesbian...
has to correct you.
And finds it crazy.
Appalling. Yeah, the lesbians. What's wrong with you people?
Right? That's like Satan, that's too much sin.
Yeah, that's too much. I'm out of here. This is crazy. Oh, man. I I'm trying to put your head around something that you just
You
can't.
can't. You can't make sense out of it.
Ms. Cabal, this is a great story.
Is
This
it
next
not?
one. It
It's from
really
Mail
is.
Online as well.
It is.
India's human coconut shy. Thousands ignore health warning and wait in line to have the rock hard fruit smashed over their skulls because it brings success.
Okay. here's what's crazy. They think it brings health and success, and then these men gods, whatever they are,
they just crack
shove-
those suck. And
Oh.
those things are they're thick.
It's a coconut over a human skull, so they're bleeding. They're getting stitches.
And one of the doctors, I believe, he says, as long as you hit the person's head with the coconut and the coconut breaks. You're okay.
It dissipates the energy.
Yeah, but if it don't break right away,
So if the sound is skroosh, you're okay.
okay.
But if the sound is
that's the
bonk,
success.
then it's in the hospital. Better try again next year. They're seriously injuring themselves doing this. This
It's
is
crazy.
this is as insane as being a transgender guy having sex with a female dressed like a man that had your.
See, your head's gonna hurt. And you're
You know what I need is a coconut. I need to put the lime in the coconut and mix it all together.
And
Need the
drink it
lime
all
in the.
Put the lime in the coconut and drink it all up. I think it goes like that.
It does. Sing it. Sing the whole song. And then you feel better. In a bizarre plea to the gods. I'm telling you what, I'm glad I don't serve a god like that.
Oh,
it requires
no
it
way.
requires a coconut on my skull.
Look at that.
You know what? I'd try to make a deal with the emergent church. I was like, hey, can we go tomato?
I know, huh?
How about some grapes?
Well, look at this one guy that's kneeling next to the woman with the coconut thing over her head.
Well, he's praying.
He's praying hard, huh? He's got the white knuckles and everything.
Because he knows he's going to get whacked. It's a bizarre plea to the
baby.
gods for health and success. There's a video on it. Go to our Facebook.
And they're
page.
handed large coconuts.
Yeah, not a little one. I don't think they have small coconuts in India. Well, the video shows Indian devotees smashing coconuts on their heads, sometimes causing themselves serious injury. Thousands, Miss Kapow, of people flock to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. You got to have a coconut up your head
Sounds
in order
like
to
a
pronounce
good-
it. Tamil Nadu. What's your name? Tamil Nadu.
Sounds like a nice dish
It does. I'll take some Tamil Nadu.
with dry coconut.
Try no coconut. Oh, they go to this place in southern India to take part in a painful practice every year. Men, women, and even children.
Oh, dear Lord.
Little children
No.
patiently sit in line as godmen, that's what they call them, godmen, are handed large coconuts before bringing them down, crashing on their goofy
Noggins.
skulls. Oh, my
Wow.
Lord. And the
Look at that.
pictures are just unbelievable. Here's a picture. There's a guy here getting his head sutured.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nasty hole.
Yeah,
Ugh.
doctors are tending to a man who has head, the top of his head split open by a coconut. Dozens are seriously injured every year, prompting doctors to warn that the practice is ironically hazardous to people's health. Many wince in pain, while others, apparently in a meditative state or praying, barely flinch.
Oh,
It's probably
my.
because they're surprised them.
Oh, no. See?
Each year, dozens are tended by medical staff for serious injuries, prompting doctors to warn that the practice is potentially deadly and hazardous to the health. Just one neurosurgery professor at the Indian government's medical college told local media, "There is a certain amount of tolerance for the skull beyond which it will cause damage." That's what he said. In other words, you put a hammer to the side of someone's head, there's a certain amount of tolerance there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If the coconut breaks, the energy is dissipated. But when it doesn't, this can cause damage to the skull. But despite the warnings, many refuse to stop the ancient tradition. It's an ancient tradition.
Well, yeah.
It's thought to have begun in the 19th century. right around the time that Christ statue got human teeth. Maybe that's where they got the teeth. Some guy in India got his head bashed in by a coconut. They go, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
Take his choppers out, put it in the statue of the patients.
The patience. One devotee said, my family have been coming here for years. Today, 4 of us have come for the ritual, and the coconuts broke well, so we're hoping for success.
Well, why they got to come every year? Can't you just get the coconut broken over your head once?
Yeah.
What kind of gods are these?
And
You got to do it all the time?
Yeah. Look at this guy. He's got a Band-Aid all around his head.
Oh, he's messed up. Many people rub their heads as the rock-hard fruit is crashed against it, while others collect the broken pieces as offering to the gods. Pieces of their skull or pieces of the coconut?
Ugh.
Wow. It's
Look at those people.
Just maybe. Well, here's a picture of a half head right here. Guy only has half a head.
Unrelated to the article.
Unrelated. I think that's it for tonight, folks. Yeah, Freedom Friday
that was
hour.
Fast.
Yeah, it was. It was. Because we talked fast. We didn't lalabagula. Lalamagula. Let's say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
That's right.
Good night.
Good night.
Go to fifthhookmedia.com right now. 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 Go to fifthhookmedia.com right now.
The views and opinions expressed on the Kapow Radio Show Network are absolutely the views of Fifth Hook Media and its affiliates. The Kapow Radio Show Network may have offended, exposed, revealed, laughed at, made light of, or shown the awesome stupidity in general of the following: the Illuminati, aliens, reptilians, greys, and ascended masters, sexual perverts, the oligarchs who engage in a lot of sexual perversion, corrupt, dim-witted politicians, Marxists, socialists, Nazis, idiots that think they are gods, idiots that think there is no one true God, false teachers, false religions, cultural Christians, the emerging church, the submerging church, sheeple, mindless Satanists, brain damage occultists, vampires, both spiritual and political, demons, fallen angels, nephies, people that do dumb things in Walmart, people that do dumb things, period, and guys named Schmitty. To this non-inclusive list, we sincerely wish to say, too bad, so sad, it sucks to be you.